So I bought the business back in 2018. It's a family-run business. My mum makes the pies. My uncle does the majority of the delivering. I haven't managed to persuade my dad and my brother yet, but yeah, it's all local produce. We're as close as we can. I learnt the trade in the shop I bought back when I was 14. Started as a Saturday boy and then worked my way up as manager, and I left there when I was 21 and come back about 2017. I had the opportunity to buy the shop, and yeah, no regrets there. But yeah, we're the only butchers left in Ross. We buy beef, which is about 3 miles away from where the shop is. It's longhorn beef. The venison and the wild boar obviously is all local to the shop. We buy pheasants, partridge off local shoots. The lambs are about 4 mile away. Pigs are from Cradley near Malvern. So yeah, we just try and keep everything as local and keep the mileage down on everything.
So do you supply the catering as well?
Yeah, we supply probably about 20-25 pubs, restaurants, shops at the moment. It's been hard during COVID, trying to balance it all out. Luckily, people aren't eating out, so they're shopping with us a bit more and treating themselves to some local produce. Back during foot and mouth was when the first wild boar were released in Ross on Wye, and then a second bunch were released as well in the Forest of Dean. It was around 50 odd that were originally released, and they've just multiplied. The problem is obviously they're no longer a native species, so the amount of damage they're doing, crops, people's gardens, all sorts, rooting outside the roads. The males can get up to 150 kilo in weight. There's no closed season on them now, so they can be shot all year round. I could sell up to 12 carcasses a week if I can get them in stock. Longer process with wild boar because you have to go for a trichinella testing. Trichinella is a worm that's in the pork. It hasn't been found, I think, since 1972 in pork, but as a UK regulation, we still have to test every single pig. Run by the government, we send it off and usually got a result by email within 48 hours. So by the time it's shot, take a sample straight away, send it off, and it's back within 2 days. We sell a lot to the general public. I sell a lot as well all over the country to a couple of companies that make pies which are then distributed through the UK. Make a lot of wild boar sausages, burgers, bacon, all sorts of it. It's coming real popular. I think the more it's tasted, and if it's cooked properly, it will be more popular. Obviously, we don't want to eradicate the numbers completely because it's a nice source of local meat to have here that's free range and pretty much organic. I mean, they are managed anyway by the Forestry Commission and local shoots and that around the outside of the Forest of Dean. But yeah, it's when each sow can have up to 8 piglets a year, they can soon get out of hand.
So this electric fence I've got here, I have to keep running 365 days a year. Certain times a year, so when I've got feeders out for the partridges, all the feeders have to be behind the electric fence, otherwise they just destroy them every night. This time of year they're really prevalent. Here we've got a crop of oats, and as soon as the oats or wheat or any other crop that they like starts coming into maturity, basically the boar start hammering it. We've got obviously big blocks of woodland here, which form part of the Forest of Dean, and yeah, there's quite a lot of boar there, and we're trying to fence them out with an electric fence, but at the moment the desire for wheat and oats is just so strong that yeah, they're hammering the crops at the moment. They're being a real nuisance. Well, I've lived on this farm for 5 years now, and I didn't buy it in the expectation of there being wild boar here, but there definitely are. And we've been managing wild boar around here for since about when they first turned up, really sort of in the mid-2000s. And we've definitely got more boar in the area than we have when I first started. But I mean, here on the sort of Forest of Dean or edge of the Forest of Dean, Gloucestershire, Herefordshire borders, yeah, we've got a good population of boar. And at this time of year, when the crops are just coming into here and getting ready for harvest, the boar are seriously damaging the crops. So I'm about to show you some pretty serious damage around the corner, which will probably illustrate that. if you're farming on the edge of the Forest of Dean, you've got to deal with the boar, and there are various things. Obviously, we manage them effectively and ethically, but lethally. We eat them, and we also try and fence them out, and we try and manage. Yeah, so we've got to live with them. They're not going anywhere. Neither are we. But yeah, it's just a case of effective management, and that management might be controlling them and putting them into the food chain, or as you'll see here, electric fencing, gates, just trying to keep them out. But it's not easy. Most of this is ruined, so what they don't eat, they ruin. So they flatten it. As you can see, the unaffected or the less effective crop, I mean, most of this field's affected. The more you look, the more damage you'll see. But I mean, this is a real concentration of damage here. Yeah, they've flattened it, they've trampled it, they've mucked on it. They've eaten what they haven't eaten, which is at least half of it, is just trodden into the ground, and this will never see the combine. It'll be wasted, and the straw will be no good either. Well, I mean, this is a good 2 weeks minimum off of harvest, probably 3, and this damage has got like this in about the last week, 10 days. So yeah, I'm going to be up here again tonight to see if I can shoot some more. But once they make it into the tall crop, it's really difficult, and we always try and be ethical as well, because there's still sows with dependent young at the moment. So once they get into that crop and you can't see what you're shooting, it gets even harder to make the right animal selection as well. We got one last night with the day scope on a farm next door, and some wheat there. So you can pick them up with the day. Most of the time though, we're spotting them with thermal and then shooting them either with night vision or thermal scopes. We stopped using lamps a long time ago, so we've got some really good kit these days. The Forestry Commission try and do thermal samples or thermal surveys, which I think gives them a reasonable feel, but I think even they would admit it's not an exact science at all. I mean, they've got a goal of getting it down to 400 animals in the main Forest of Dean area, which I think is a very bold ambition, but nobody knows how many's there. I mean, I think all I would say is it's a lot more than 400.